the extension of rights to minority groups and how the branches of the government helped equality. So the executive helped equality, specifically the president. So after the Brown versus Board of Education, it was ordered to stop segregation. And there's a school in Arkansas named Little Rock that immediately was one of the first schools to end segregation and allow black students to enroll. But their governor, Orville Faubus, ordered the Arkansas National Guard to stop black students from enrolling into the school. So during all this, President Eisenhower was in his vacation home in Rhode Island, and I was actually able to find the vacation home. It's on there. And so he stopped his vacation and agreed to meet with the governor of Arkansas. But Governor Faubus told Eisenhower that the National Guard was there to actually help the black students and make sure that they were safe when entering school. But as soon as the governor got back to Arkansas, he withdrew the National Guard. A few days later, 9 African American students went to enroll in Little Rock, and a riot happened. And Governor Faubus did nothing. President Eisenhower put the Arkansas National Guard under his control and sent them to restore order again, and the violence ended. Eisenhower was criticized on both sides for either not doing enough for civil rights or for infringing on state power, because he did take control of the Arkansas National Guard. And then there's Title IX, I should say. So before Title IX happened, Title IX was helped stop gender-based discrimination, but some schools had separate entrances for female and male students. Females couldn't take certain courses like auto mechanics or criminal justice. And then colleges and universities actually had women have to have a higher score than men in order to attend. And then women living on campus usually had a curfew of about midnight. And then law and medical schools, most of them wouldn't allow women to enroll. And then there were very few sports offered to women. And when they were extremely underfunded, which meant that women did not receive scholarships for athleticism at colleges. So basically how Title IX happened was it was a follow-up for the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and it was made into law in 1972, and it was signed by Richard Nixon. So what Title IX did was it prevented gender-based discrimination. Women were now able to get degrees that were outside of their gender norms. There were more women's sports, and because they weren't as underfunded, they received scholarships for their athletics, and then they just in general received more fair treatment in schools and athletic programs. And then the judicial branch helped in the Brown versus Board of Education. So we all know that segregation in school for students was very harmful. Black schools were very often severely underfunded, and they didn't really have a lot of opportunity for their students for whether it be college or whatever they wanted to continue to do in life. And then white schools were a lot more funded and they offered more programs. So how the Brown versus Board of Education happened was Oliver Brown sued the Topeka Board of Education whenever they denied his daughter, Linda Brown's, enrollment to their all-white elementary school, and actually found a picture of both the school and Linda Brown when she was older. His basis of the lawsuit was that segregation schools were not separate but equal because they were not equal. The U.S. District Court of Kansas did agree that they were not equal, but they still upheld their separate but equal doctrine. And then, so the Board of Education was held before the Supreme Court, but before the case could be heard, one of the Supreme Court justices, Fred Winson, he passed away, and President Eisenhower replaced him with Earl Warren. Before Earl Warren was there, the court was very split on the decision of segregation, but Warren pulled them all together and managed to make a unanimous vote against segregation. So my conclusion is that during the Civil Rights Movement, the government did extend a lot of rights, more rights to minority groups, and this really helped make our country what it is today. But despite all those things, our country still does need to improve because we are still not equal. And then here are all my sources.